Yo, what is good, YouTube? So today, I'm going to show you guys how to prepare your project for mastering, or maybe even just want to master within your project. Just some things to go over. So this project is not done, but going through just my recent, that would be the best one to go over and explain this for. So, I mean, if you want to hear what it sounds like as is right now, I'll play a little demo of it, but definitely going to change a bit by the time we release. I'm working on this sound. I just turned it off because it doesn't fit the song right now. I was just sound designing, so. Won't you wait for me? Don't want to play it off too much, and then we still have that second drop. But say I'm ready to master this song and I'm going to do it externally, not within the project. What do I need to do to make sure? Well, I have some stuff on here, especially the invisible limiter. You don't want this on. I would turn that off, and I would turn possibly the saturator off, but adds to how I want the song to sound. So if it's not adding too much crazy distortion, and I could also just slap this on at the mastering stage, just take note of what I have and put it on at the mastering stage. So if anything happens, I could fine tune it a little more. So let's say we'll turn that off, and then this is like a balancing EQ. It just kind of flattens out the frequencies to, be presented to your ears in a more flat way, because it seems like it gets a little harsh right here, and that's what that is if you turn the scale up. That's kind of how our ears pick up sound as flat. It doesn't, a straight line of frequencies across is not flat. It's going to pick up this range a lot louder than this range. So that's why I have this on here. Again, I would take this off and put it on at the mastering stage. And you guys could look up more about that if you look up, just Google that, and you will find. If you want to know more about like the flat responsive frequencies, just type in Fletcher something. But if you type that in, Fletcher EQ or Fletcher frequency response or something, it'll pull up some more info about that for you. And if I find a good article, I'll link it in the description. But if you type in this full thing into Google or any search engine, it's gonna pop up this free download of this, or I think as well as ProQ. There's a preset little thing you guys could do. So that is that. Go ahead and close that up. So yeah, I would turn all this off. I would make sure the export is, see how I have it already -6 right there on my utility. It's always going to be playing around -6. Now this song, keep in mind, was really loud. So everything was mixed super loud, and even having that -6, it went from basically clipping all the way up down to just won't you wait for me? It's fine if it's not clipping at 6+. Like the kick is pretty crazy. I don't know how they got that high. I guess it's when the whatever it's called, the high pass filter goes through. Those high peaks are, hitting. Maybe I could put a limiter on there and squash it, but it's not affecting the sound in a bad way, so I'm leaving it as is. But you just go through and check everything. And since that is peaking though, I would put a utility on there and turn it down, or just turn this down 6 or 3. As long as it's not drastically clipping, it's fine. You can master with it, but some people are going to want more headroom than others. And then, okay, the song is good. We have the whole song selected. We're going to go to export, master, no dither. You do not want dither on here And before you export, you want to make sure that the mix is how you want it. Mastering is not some magical thing. All it's going to do is bring it to a proper loudness. It'll balance out some frequencies. Like if I put this on there, it'll balance out my frequencies. I could do any EQ boost or whatnot. I could do some multi-band compression and all that. But it's really up to us to get that mix down super tight. And then the mastering is just kind of, putting the sprinkles on top. It's not magic. It's just the sprinkles on top of the already good donut. Um, that's the way I think of it. So you really want that good donut, the icing on top. You want a good batter. You can't just put sprinkles on top of a donut and make it better. They have a little bit of flavor. They're more to look nice. That mastering's more to sound nice. But you want your mix down as leveled as possible, and that's all up to you as a producer, unless you send out your stems for mixing. But I really think producers should at least do the mixing. You could send out your masters or your mix downs for master, but I really think you guys should be doing the mix downs yourself, and you'll get a more better result of the masters because they'll have, what you're going for. If they're mixing down completely different from the style, like some people don't put the kick as loud. If you really want your kick to thump through, you got to do that in the mix down, and they can't really change that much besides compress it a bit. So that's something to think about. And then you just export it. Also, I also like to export an A and B. Just like if you're kind of thinking, do I want the snare a little quieter, or do I want the snare louder? I'll bounce out an A mix down and a B mix down, and then that way I could, when I'm in the mastering project, I could have the A and B on two different tracks, and then just export them as a mastered product, and then I could hear, okay, well, when I was mastering and I pushed it into the limiter, maybe that loud snare was too loud and I wanted the quieter one. So you could do stuff like that, and you could also go back, edit your mix downs and bounce them out as you are mastering and you find some problems you want to fix. It's all up to you, and if you're doing it all yourself, you have more control. And then the last thing though for mix downs is if your computer could really handle it and you just want to master within. I used to do this on all my songs, but now I export it and master separately just so I'm just focused only on the mastering and not tweaking things. And I'll come back and tweak it if I need to. But you can master within, and you would just give your headroom over here on the utility and then start working across. But because this is a work in progress, I have my basic quick master, a limiter, this, and a saturator to kind of get me in the ballpark of what it will sound like when I master, although it's going to change when I master it. But those are my tips on how to get your mix down ready for mastering. Remember, when you're exporting, no dither. That's going to be on the mastering stage, especially when you're bouncing out stems too. If you're going to do like an external mix down, you don't want any dither on your mix down stems. So, and you don't want to no mono, no normalize. If you want to create an analysis file, you can, and you just export it like that. Boom, export. You put it into a new project, you master it, you export, you put the dither on, and you have the final product. As always, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Give us that thumbs up if this has helped you out in any way. And we have more videos coming out in the future. Thanks for watching. Peace.